Welcome to the Launch Button Podcast, where we unlock the secrets of successful entrepreneurs and real estate investors who found the courage to hit the launch button and take control of their destiny. Join me, Hugh Zaretsky, best-selling author, seasoned real estate investor, and serial entrepreneur, as we dive deep into inspiring stories and invaluable lessons that will empower you to break free from the ordinary and pursue your true passions. Are you feeling trapped in a job that drains your passion and leaves you yearning for more? Are you ready to accelerate your business and or real estate investing to take it to the next level? It's time to ignite your dreams and embrace the limitless possibilities that life has to offer. Get ready to launch into the life you've always desired by pressing the launch button. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Launch Button Podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about the power of association or the power of proximity, depending on what you want to call it. And then in the future, we're going to do a special. If you go ahead, comment below proximity or association, I will go ahead and send you the free training we have on new math called 1 + 1 = 1,000, right? Whatever it happens to be, or send me a direct message on any of the social media platforms, and we'll go ahead and do that for you. We're coming off an amazing event. Dr. Greg Kimbell had his 40th birthday. He not only brought some of his friends, but some of his friends bought friends. And that's what we talked about, the power of association. So one of the OGs in the industry, Sharon Lechter, right? Sharon Lechter was there. She's written Outwritten the Devil. We've got Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the original version of it. She's written Think and Grow Rich for Women. And she has this thing about the power of association, right? Who we hang out with, how we do that. And when that really kicks in is live events. If you don't show up at the live event, you can't make the connection. It's nice over Zoom, but it's way better in person where you get to make that connection and you get to do that. And that power of association starts to spread out. And that's really what we're talking about here today on this. So since it was Greg's birthday, he invited some of his friends. Some of his mentors invited some of their friends. And we had a crazy group of people being there. All thanks because of the power of association. Now, it all starts with servant leadership. In order to get into the circles, there's two ways. You pay to play, or you are a servant leader, right? And that's how you get connected to these people. So I've done both. Greg's done both. And one of his associations is a guy called Dan Fleyshman. And Dan runs the Aspire Tour. Dan runs all these crazy events. He's the world record holder for the largest toy drive, right, in the world, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. He's got all sorts of people in his cell phone, Kevin Hart, 2 athletes, Big Papi, Alex Rodriguez, all these different people to all these speakers and everything like that. So what happened? They invited some of their friends. So we ended up doing an event for Greg's birthday, and it was a big blowout. Even over Easter weekend, when a lot of people wouldn't show up at events, there were lots of millionaires and billionaires in a room just to hang out with Greg. And that's the power of association. From there, David Meltzer showed up, former sports agent, former real estate agent, going out there. He sold his company for over $100 million. Being there, we had Amber Love was there as well. We had Superfund Dave, Steve Aoki's manager, right? We had Dr. Rewire talking about your DNA and how to go ahead and do that. And those just a few of the speakers we had that was outside of our group. And then inside of the group, right, we had Greg Kimbell. We had Chris and Carly talking about survival. Kayla always bringing the fun at the events and to helping women move through their process. We had Kip and Laura Brown talking about life by design. They're one of our duos from everything from dance to go ahead and redesigning your life. We had Dr. Eileen Gallagher being there as she leads our vitality section. We had Sean Delaney, good friend of mine, being there as well. All these people are my friends, but Sean, I know going way back. We had Bernard Quisenberry as well up on that stage, going ahead and doing those things. And those were just the people on the stage. Now, here's the deal when you go to events. You know, too many people try and be the spammer and try and connect with everybody. I always tell people, connect with 3 people. That's the golden rule. You just want to go connect with 3 people, dive deep with those 3 people at those events, because then you can really create that power of association. Luckily for me, some of these people I've already had that with, right? Thanks to Greg, we got to meet Sharon Lechter over a year ago. And we've been able to build that relationship not only with Sharon, but with Michael Lechter, their dog Rex, their team Angela. So we've done that. And I was trying to connect some people, some of the newer people with them to allow that relationship to grow deeper with our community and to be able to do that. Dr. Rewire, Superfund Dave, Meltzer, Amber were all new to me. So, we started working on those relationships and laying those foundations. And that's what I want you guys to figure out is who's there. But then it's not only about the speakers, it's not only about the presenters, because they've got to run around, they've got to do lots of things. Who's in that audience, right? We had about 100 people from our community in that audience. And then, Dan decided to invite a few people. Dan has a large following, and he invited a few people as well. So as we're talking about this, right, Izzy, and we had Kim and Izzy. So let's just talk about who some of these people are that would just sit in the audience. And if you weren't in the audience, shame on you for doing that, because you should have been there. Everybody had an opportunity to be there. We brought some people. We had Isabella Hamilton that's done over $1 billion on Amazon. Like we said, Amber McSell talking about love and spreading the word. We had the real Jen Drummond that's climbed all 7 peaks, set a Guinness Book World Record there for that. We had Addie's Photography, worked with Superfund Dave. Dave's on there to be able to go ahead and go deeper with them on there. We had Bruce of Legendary, right? Bruce of Legendary there, creating new bars, formerly with Quest. All sorts of people were there at that event, just sitting in the audience. We had CEO Kauser and his team there. We had different people from all these crazy organizations that were just hanging out in the crowd. And that's the association you get just by being in the room. So if you were able to talk to these people, you were able to sit next to them, you were able to take notes with them. They're not necessarily just up on the stage. They were right there for you. So my question is, who did you associate with this weekend? Or whenever you watch this video on YouTube, or whenever you watch it, listen to it on the podcast, who did you associate with? Because those associations allow us to go deeper. Those associations allow us to lay the foundation for relationships. Now, I've talked about this in the past at some of our trainings and some of the different things. Now, some people are root people, right? They're your root, they're your foundation. I had a bunch of my team that I've known for years and years be there. Sarah, who I originally know from Maui, Hawaii, was there. Now she's living not too far away in Colorado Springs, so to come to Denver was not too far. Ash was there. I didn't even know she was coming originally. I've known her for many years in another organization. And then we had our New York team and New Jersey team come on out. John, Jill, no John. We had Jill come out. We had Joe and Amanda come out, and they brought their kids. So we got to build deeper relationships with them as well. And so just being able to do that, just being able to hang out with these people, we did everything from working out together to being on stage together to hanging out, having fun, playing with the kids. Like, it's a full life circle: health, wealth, vitality, your professionalism, being able to dive deep with these people. But here's the key. You got to get in the room. You got to be at the live event. You've got to be plugged in. You've got to start to surround yourself with people. And then second, you got to talk to people. You got to open your mouth. You got to tell them what to do. We have a whole pre-event checklist that we give to people. For those of you for everybody that subscribes to the Inside Podcast, if you go to the launchbuttonpodcast.com, we'll go ahead and give you, right, just put in there, once you go in there and we approve you, just go ahead and put in there, give me the event checklist, and we'll talk to you about all the things to do pre-events. So you know what to do, so you're all set, so you can build those relationships with people instead of not knowing what to say. And that's hugely important for you, is actually knowing what to say when you go to these things. And we're going to have a lot of these people on our podcast, because now the association is going to dive deeper. We're going to build those relationships and go deeper with people. And that's really a lot of the things that we talk to you about, is going deeper with people. And we want to go deeper and deeper and deeper in one of these relationships. And so as we dive deeper into these relationships, we get to build trust. And most people lead with the wrong thing. You lead with your product. So I always say you've got to lead, right? First, we got to like you. Then we've got to trust you. And then we do business with you. That's why a lot of my business partners, it takes 1 year to 2 years before we really start cranking things up and doing business with. Because we've got to go through that. We got to understand their core values. We got to understand what they do, how they do it, where they're coming from. So I just want you to understand that as you're going through this, because we made all these connections right there in the room. And that's what is super cool about this. Whether you were on stage with us or you were just sitting in the audience, you had that ability to go ahead and do that. I mean, these are just a few of the pictures from this weekend for those of you guys on the YouTube channel. just being able to make right there in the room just for showing up. And there's Greg and Dan that are sort of what we call the golden connectors, and we'll talk to you about that in the future. But everybody just needs to understand that you have golden connectors in your life all around you. You have people that have key relationships that you want to dive deeper with. So don't hesitate, don't delay, put the time, energy, effort into those so that you can dive deeper. Like I said, if you go to our Inside podcast, go to the launch button, right, podcast.com. We'll go ahead and give you that checklist. You just got to say you want the checklist. We'll give you the checklist and be able to put you into one of the next live events so you can start building those associations and those deeper relationships. So I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the podcast. Have a great day. Oh, John, let it play a little longer. So I look forward to, so before we wrap up here today, make sure you check out our Instagram, QZ Wealth, on there so that you can see some of the videos, some of the things that transpired at Greg's birthday. It was an amazing event. You want to get plugged into these live events. So go to the launchbuttonpodcast.com, put in your information. Not only can you get the checklist, but you will also find out when our next live events are. And we're going to be coming around the country, working with some different groups that you don't even know. And then you get to plug in. You get to be part of the association. And I'll introduce you to people if you show up at events. Pretty simple like that. That's what I was doing all event long at this one. So why not do it for you? But you got to show up. You might got to pay to be there, pay to play, or you might be able to bring a bunch of people and then get in for free. Just let me know. I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us on the Launch Button Podcast, your gateway to unlocking your true potential and pursuing your passions. Don't let the journey end here. For more empowering insights, valuable resources, exclusive content, and free giveaways, visit www.thelaunchbuttonpodcast.com.